Good morning and welcome to the Brick by Brick podcast with Ronald Pauleus. I am in a situation today. I'm on my iPad because the Amazon delivery guy, I was getting a load of beef delivered on Tuesday because my family likes to purchase whole cows and just have meat for however long it lasts us. We eat a lot of steak, and we're real thankful and blessed to be able to eat and have this opportunity to do stuff like this. But we were getting so much meat, so much beef this time around that we had to order another chest freezer. So we have two now, and we have a stand-up regular freezer. And so we got that ordered. It was coming Monday, meat being delivered Tuesday. Well, Monday morning, guys, this Amazon guy comes in and he is with his buddy delivering this product, this freezer, bumps into my table. I'm there eating breakfast with my wife. My wife went to the backyard and they and my as you can hear, my little girl's in the background. And so I was there. They bumped into the table, and my milk that I was drinking for breakfast spilled. My laptop was on the table. Wife and I were playing a board game named Carcassonne. Some of those components got wet. I had glass on the table, fell on the floor, shattered. So we are we've been out of commission in some ways with business and just pushing things forward. So I've had to adapt. I got to get an episode out. I got to be faithful to you guys, those who are listening. Got to be faithful to the future. Got to be faithful to me. I said I will have a podcast episode out every Monday, and I got to do it. So thanks for being patient and adapting here as we push forward. Amazon has heard my claim, so I was transferred about 15 different times, which is understandable in a department, a business that has, I mean, it's huge. It's huge. So I think I finally, after 4 days of waiting, after somebody told me, yeah, you got to the right place. After 4 days of waiting, I think I finally did get to the right place. And now I have an actual claim number. And I'm actually talking to Amazon's insurance company. So I'm excited to get this resolved. It's not fun not having a laptop to do all the things. But with that, I want to highlight this principle because, the Brick by Brick podcast is about looking at principles we can get a hold of and use. The good thing about principles is that they don't discriminate. The good thing about habits is that they don't discriminate. If you run every day, you will build your endurance. If you don't, you won't. If you save money, you will have a stockpile. If you don't, you won't. Doesn't matter your color, your skin, your religion, your nationality. Principles are those things that anybody can start doing. One of the principles I want to talk about is simply taking action. This is a title: Inaction breeds overthinking. Have you ever been at a spot where you were about ready to jump into the pool and it's 8 feet, it's probably the deepest you've ever swam, or it's in the ocean, whatever it is, and you're just at a place where you're like, man, I'm scared to go in. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And oh, what if this happens? And what if I don't? And what happens is, as you take the time to overthink, it stomps and prevents you from being confident enough to take action. And I found this to be true in business, in real estate, in making goals that will help you get to the next level, whatever it is, it can hurt. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you don't think just jump into the 8 feet, just jump into the deep side of the pool. That's not what I'm saying. You obviously want to analyze the situation. You want to weigh the costs. You want to look at the benefits over the cons. Like you want to do those things. I did that as I've started this real estate journey. So, okay, what's the cost? Okay, here's the potential return. Here's a potential loss. Okay, this is what I can do, what I can't. Okay, all right. I want to get into real estate. I want to own rental properties. I want to do this. You weigh the costs, no doubt. But when you've weighed the costs and you've concluded, okay, I can swim, there's a life jacket right there. There are people all around this pool who see me and in a heartbeat would come to save me if I begin to drown for whatever reason. When you've already done the thinking and weighed the balance and have concluded that it's worth going forward, and then you start to continue to think like, oh, what if the bottom of the pool is slippery and I slip underwater? Well, what if the when you start to overthink, that's when the inaction comes. Because what happens is the confidence you got in the conclusions you already made begin to be questioned. Alex Hormozzi says this: you don't need more time, you need to decide. You need to just do the thing. So many people get what's called analysis paralysis. Should I get a logo first? Is this good enough? What if the business fails? Will people judge me? But what all these what ifs prevent you from doing? And you need to get to a place where you just decide, like, this is what I'm going to do, brick by brick. I decided that I wanted to provide for my family. I wanted to provide more for my family. I wanted to make sure that they can have certain things and we can go certain places. I didn't want my wife to be at the grocery store deciding from a dollar's worth of beans or 97 cents worth of beans. I didn't want her making those decisions. I want her to be say, okay, this is quality. This organic food pushes us towards our goal. Okay, let's get it. And so here I am. I'm making and taking the action that pushes me towards those goals that I've made. You don't need more time. You need to just decide. And it's one of those things that, yes, entrepreneurship comes with struggle, comes with fear, comes with problems, comes with troubles and whatnot. But if you've weighed the balance, it's worth it, right? If you see, several people have been successful in real estate. Several people have done this by themselves, buying one property at a time a year, turning it into a rental, fixing it up on the weekend. Several people have done things for themselves and by themselves. And so it's one of those things that if you're overthinking, figure out why. Maybe you're really not getting into a good industry. Maybe it really isn't the best time to make that decision with the resources you have. You don't have a good enough cushion, etc., etc., etc. And so you want to evaluate that. But if you've weighed the cost and you say to yourself, it's actually worth it, why haven't you gone forward? Why haven't you started the thing? Why haven't you pushed it forward? Because get this, progress silences doubt. You want to know what the solution to overthinking is? Action. Action. Because what happens is you get all these what if scenarios that become a stumbling block, a hill, a hurdle you got to jump over. You get all these things that prevent you from going forward, and then you stop. You don't go through with it. Here's the thing: 80 to 90% of those things sometimes don't even happen. What if you sleep at the bottom of the pool? Well, get to the bottom of the pool and find out, right? What if this deal doesn't go through? Get the deal going and then find out. It's one of those things where you have to take the action. You got to take the action, push forward, and then see what happens. Because the reality is, things far worse than what you imagine could happen. But on the flip side, things far better than you imagine could happen, right? What if this fails? But what if you start asking, what if this succeeds? What if this blows up? What if this not blow up, right? Yeah, depending on who you are, that could be bad or good. What if this pushes forward and it makes sense and it works out? You won't know because you would have backed out. And so, in the same way, what needs to happen is you need to get to a place where you start to take action. You take action, and then you figure it out as you go. The baby says, I'm going to just start walking. That's what the grown-ups are doing. That's what everyone around me doing. And as I fall, I'm just going to adjust. Okay, I can't lean too much to the right. I can't lean too far back. I can't. Okay, let's do it. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we're boom. You got to just take the steps, because what will happen is you'll get to the end of your life and you'll realize it was worth it and you didn't take the shot. It was worth it and you didn't take the shot. Jim Rohn said this: we must all suffer one of two things, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline is the pain you feel now. Getting up early morning, learning the craft, sharpening your tools, networking, getting out of your comfort zone, reaching out to people. This and that and this. That's the pain you feel now. Working out for a marathon. The pain of regret, though, you feel later, and that's why it's so deceptive. Because discipline, you get up early morning and you're groggy and I wish I could just sleep in a little bit more. I usually wake up at 9 or 10. You feel that now, and then it dissuades you from going forward. The pain of regret is deceptive because it's way down the road. You don't feel that pain now. Oh, that's in 20 years. That's 30 years. The thing is, you'll regret it more than you realize, too. Yeah, down the road, you'll say, man, I wish I really did exercise more. Because here I am going to the doctor. If only I got up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. Now I'm getting up at 5 a.m. to go to this specialist. Ouch. If only I started that business. Now I'm 70. Now I'm 60. Now I'm 55, whatever it is. And I'm starting a new W-2. If only I started building brick by brick now, later down the road, I wouldn't be building brick by brick later. We all suffer one or two things, pain or regret. The pain of discipline or regret. The question is what do you want to take on? What do you want to face? The other thing I want to end with is that you got to reframe failure. It's not that people are scared to jump in. People aren't scared to jump. It's the result of the jumping that they're afraid of. I'll land flat on my face. It's not the jump per se people are afraid of. And what you got to do is reframe failure. You got to say to yourself, failure is feedback. The way I jumped did not allow me to complete this backflip, so I got to readjust. The business I started, the way I negotiated, that deal I took under, I need to readjust. You see, Edison fell 10,000 times before creating the light bulb. Can you imagine if he said to himself at 9,999, yeah, I'm done? You'd say, man, dude, you're this close. Can you imagine if he said, man, I failed the first time, I'm done? People would say, yeah, I can understand that. He's 9,999 away from actually creating the light bulb compared to just being one mistake away from creating the light bulb. Here's the thing, though. When you begin, you don't see that. You don't see the day it clicks. You don't see the chapter that makes everything else make sense. You don't see the moment it starts to compound and multiply. You don't see that finished work. You don't know after which mistake, after which failure, after which feedback it will be that all of a sudden it just takes off. So whether it's one or 9,999, whatever attempt it is, the superpower you need to develop is a consistency to build brick by brick. Michael Jordan lost 300 games, missed 9,000 shots. You have to fail more than everyone else. You got to. And not only that, you got to get the feedback and readjust the play. That 3-point shot in that way doesn't work. So I need to adjust. And so, how are you letting inaction breed overthinking and that overthinking stopping you from going forward? What can you do this week to start building a life worth living brick by brick?